Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Today we are going to see about cavity resonator. So in general, if you see the first point, in general, your screen is paused, I am getting. Are you able to see the PDF?
Yes, ma'am. We are able to
Yes,
see,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Yeah. Okay. So today we are going to see about, actually there are two topics left in unit 1. One is cavity resonator, another one is strip line and micro strip line. We'll complete today cavity resonator. Tomorrow's class will finish strip line and micro strip line, and we'll start unit 2 also. Okay. So you please go through the syllabus of unit 2, unit 1 first. So check the syllabus, all the topics we covered. Anything if you feel that that particular topic is not covered, I'm telling 100% all the topics are covered. Anything you feel that any topic is not covered, please bring to my notice. Okay. So today we are going to see about cavity resonator. One more important topic is cavity resonators. What is a cavity resonator? These resonators are these cavity resonators we are going to use in many applications, like in amplifiers, in tuned circuits, in oscillators. Normally, tuned circuits, why it is required? You have studied in your network theory course. What is a tuned circuit? It has L and C components at a particular frequency. That particular frequency is called resonant frequency. At resonant frequency, XC becomes XL, so output becomes maximum. That's what the resonant circuit we have studied already in your previous courses. Now we are going to study about cavity resonator. What is a cavity resonator? First thing, so we discussed already about waveguides, operation of the waveguide in TM mode as well as in TE mode. We defined various waveguide parameters. What are the losses in the waveguide also we have seen. Now we are moving to cavity resonators. What is a cavity resonator mean? The definition is very simple. What is a cavity resonator is, resonators are the active components with a wide variety of application. It has many applications, as I mentioned, in tuned circuit, amplifiers, oscillator. In many things we can use these resonators. So what is a resonator? Then obviously you will get the doubt. What is a resonator? A piece of waveguide, closed on both ends with the conducting plates form a cavity at microwave frequency. What do you understood by this particular sentence? A piece of waveguide, that means a waveguide. We have seen the waveguide. What is a waveguide? It's a hollow metallic tube. It has both the ends. If you close both the ends, with the conducting plates, then it becomes a cavity. I'll try to draw the diagram. What is a waveguide? What is a waveguide? How the waveguide can be made as a cavity resonator. See, we have seen the rectangular waveguide. So what is the diagram of a rectangular waveguide? I am taking a rectangular waveguide, something like this. It's a rectangular waveguide. Yes or no? So this is one end. So this is X, this is Y, and the wave propagates in the
Screen is not shared.
screen is not shared. Yeah. So this is a rectangular waveguide. This is my X, this is my Y, and the wave propagates in the positive Z direction. That's what we have done the analysis in previous classes. Now this is one end. So this is other side also. You have one more thing. So in this waveguide, if both the ends are closed with the conducting material, if you take a conducting sheet, close both the ends, Normally in waveguide, we didn't close both the ends. But in cavity resonator, what is cavity resonator? A cavity resonator is one in which both the ends of the waveguide, of the waveguide, both the ends of the waveguide are closed with waveguide, closed with what? Closed with piece of conducting material. Okay, then it becomes cavity. Now the question is, what is the advantage with cavity resonator? Do you understood what is cavity resonator? You take the waveguide, both the ends of the waveguide are what? Closed with a piece of conducting material. Then it becomes the cavity. So what is the advantage? Why these cavity resonators are used means, see, so this is the first thing, a piece of waveguide closed on both ends with conducting plates forms the cavity at microwave frequency. Cavity resonators basically are used as a tuned circuit at microwave frequencies. So, theoretically speaking, any given resonator has infinite number of modes operating. Infinite number of modes are operating. So, now, what is the advantage of cavity resonator? In general, a cavity resonator is a metallic enclosure that confines. It's very important. What is the advantage or what is the function of the cavity resonator means? It's a metallic enclosure which confines the electromagnetic energy. That means which stores the electromagnetic energy. The stored electric and magnetic energy inside the cavity determines its equivalent circuit. The equivalent circuit consisting of inductance and capacitance. The stored magnetic energy is equivalent to what? Inductance. The stored electrical energy is capacitance. So, what is the equivalent circuit of a cavity resonator? It consisting of an inductance and a capacitance. So, what for cavity resonators are used to store electromagnetic energy? Or else I can tell it confines, it is a metallic enclosure which confines the electromagnetic energy. The stored electric and magnetic energies inside the cavity determines its equivalent inductance and capacitance. So the energy, even though we are telling it's a conductor, it's not a 100% perfect conductor. Some of the energies are dissipated even in the conducting walls. That determines the equivalent resistance in practice. If you see in practice, what are the cavities are available? Cavity resonators are available. Rectangular cavity resonator, circular cavity resonator, and re-entrant cavity resonators are commonly used at microwave frequency. But in your syllabus, rectangular cavity resonators are present. So we'll see what are the figures of rectangular cavity resonator and circular cavity resonator. See, these are the examples of rectangular cavity resonator. So these are all are the examples of rectangular cavity resonator, whereas this is the circular cavity resonator. But what is the purpose of cavity resonator? It confines the electromagnetic energy or it stores the electromagnetic energy. You should excite this cavity resonator. First thing you should understand is you should give the input to the cavity resonator. When the applied input and the resonant, because the cavity resonator stores the electromagnetic energy, which is represented by equivalent inductance and capacitance. When the impressed energy is equal to, or when the impressed frequency is equal to the resonant frequency, maximum output you are going to get. That is the advantage. That's what we wrote here. I'll show you. So do you understood what is cavity resonator? First thing, what is cavity
Yes, ma'am.
resonator? Yes or no? It's a closed waveguide. Indirectly telling it's a closed waveguide. Okay, both the ends of the waveguide are closed with conducting material, which is used to confine the electromagnetic energy. Okay, the stored electric energy and the stored magnetic energy is represented with a tuned circuit. That means it consisting of inductance and capacitance, and energy dissipated by the finite conducting walls of the cavity determines its equivalence resistance. What are the types of cavities available? Rectangular cavity, circular cavity, re-entrant cavities. There are various. These are the three basically cavity resonators are available. So theoretically, a given resonator has the finite number of resonant modes and each mode corresponding to definite frequency. Each mode has some frequency. When the frequency of that, this is the point which I am trying to convey to you. When the frequency of an impressed signal, that means applied signal, is equal to the resonant frequency of the cavity, is equal to the resonant frequency of the cavity, maximum amplitude. Actually, what I'm trying to cover here is because both the ends are closed, you're applying some input signal. You're applying some input signal like this. Since this end is closed, what happens? You are going to get standing wave. You are going to get what? Standing wave like this. You are going to get, since that end is closed, wave is reflected back again. That wave, we are calling it as standing wave. Are you able to see the screen?
No, ma'am.
This type of pattern, this standing wave pattern we are going to get. Okay, so you are applying the signal. This is the impressed signal. Since this end is closed, it is closed with the conducting material. What happens? The signal gets reflected back. This wave, I am calling it as standing wave. This wave is called as standing wave. Okay, that is the point here conveyed clearly. When the impressed signal frequency is equal to the resonant frequency of the cavity, maximum amplitude of the standing waves occur. The peak energies stored in the electric and magnetic fields at resonance. At resonance, what happens means, see, at resonance, the energy stored in the magnetic and electric fields becomes equal. That frequency is known as a resonant frequency. Okay, that frequency is known as a resonant frequency. So what is the dominant mode? That mode is called dominant mode. What is the dominant mode? A waveguide which is having the lowest resonant frequency is known as dominant. Okay, so these are the things. So irregular shapes also there, rectangular cavities. Re-entrant is nothing but some irregular shapes of cavities there. Then it is called what? Here, this point is very, very important. What is re-entrant cavity? You may get the doubt. What is, ma'am, re-entrant cavity means? Re-entrant cavity, irregular shapes of resonators are known as re-entrant cavities. So these are also having very wide range of applications. These are used in tuned circuit, microwave devices, amplifiers, like that. Okay, so these are the things. This is the basic. These are the basic points about cavity resonators. So we'll see what are the field component expressions. All of you, we have already completed the field component expressions of, we are already completed, we derived the field component expressions of a rectangular waveguide operating in TE mode and a rectangular waveguide operating in TM mode. We have derived the field component. What I mean to say field components is nothing but EX, EY, HX, HY. So we are already determined those field components. We have already having those expressions. So those expressions are very, very important. First thing, that expression is very, very important. So So to do this one, using those expressions, we are going to proceed here. See, so if both the ends are open, the wave propagates in the z direction. That's what we have seen. This is the rectangular waveguide. It is A and this is B. And this distance in z direction. So I'm telling the what is a cavity resonator? This end and this is one face and this is one other face. Both these faces, both the ends are closed with a metallic material. Then it is called what? Cavity resonator, which stores the electromagnetic energy. That's what we are. If these both the ends are not closed, generally the wave propagates in z directions. So as I told you, since this end is closed, both the ends are closed, the propagated wave, actually the wave is propagating in this direction. Since this end is closed, what happened? The wave, since this end is closed, what happened? Some of the wave is what? Reflected back. Again, the wave gets reflected back because this end is also what? Closed. So now the wave is propagating like this. Let us consider the wave is propagating like this. Since this end is what? This one shorted. So the wave is reflected back. That wave we are calling it as standing wave. So the impressed frequency is equal to the resonant frequency of the cavity. Maximum amplitude of the standing wave occurs. That is the theory we have studied. We have discussed now. So now, see, these expressions are very, very important. What are these expressions, Amma? So EIX is nothing but what? EIX means the wave which is in the X direction. EIX is equal to, since we are assuming that the wave is propagating in the positive Z direction initially. So what is EIX is equal to EIXX naught into e power of minus j beta z. Here you have to remember one point. What is e power of minus j beta z? Remember this one, whenever I am representing e power of minus j beta z means the wave propagates in the positive z direction. E power of plus j beta z means the wave propagates in the negative z direction. So see, when the forward wave, if you take, it is propagating in the positive z direction. When you consider in the reflected wave, it obviously follows what? Reflected wave, if you consider, it follows what? Negative z direction. We can tell in the reverse direction. That's why we are going to, here the standing wave consisting of forward wave and reflected wave, both. So we have to consider both the waves here. So what is the forward wave? What is the reflected wave? So see, we are interested. What is EIX? EIX is nothing but EIX naught, e power of minus j beta z. EIY is nothing but EIY naught, e power of minus j beta z. EIZ is equal to EIZ naught, e power of minus z. Similarly for magnetic fields also. Do you have any doubt in these expressions, in these 6 expressions? Because since the wave is propagating in the positive z direction, we are representing e power of minus j beta z. Any doubt? I'll pause for 1 minute. Anybody having any doubt, please ask me. Understood what I'm trying to convey here?
Yes,
What
ma'am.
is now? Suddenly what happens? Suddenly what I did is, in the waveguide, I've closed this end. When I closed this end, what happened? The wave gets reflected back. So that's what we are trying to do. Here, the one end, when the opening at the outlet is closed, I placed a conducting sheet there. So definitely you are going to get the reflected signal. So now what is the reflected signal? Reflected signal is moving in the negative z direction, not in the positive z direction. So what is the reflected wave? I can write ERX is equal to ERXO e power of plus j beta z. Why you are getting these expressions? Plus why you are getting in the reverse direction, not in the positive z direction, in the negative z direction. Opposite to that, the wave is moving. So here all the 6 expressions becomes e power of plus j beta z. Now, understood this one, Amma? So one is moving in the forward z direction. Since we closed that place, obviously the wave gets reflected back. So the reflected signal has what? Negative z direction, traveling in the negative z direction. So now, due to interference, what happens? Incident and reflected waves forms the standing wave pattern. So now we are interested not on the transmitted signal or not in the forward wave or the reflected wave. We are interested in the standing wave pattern. What is the standing wave pattern? We can write it as EXX is equal to incident plus reflected. EXY is equal to, what is this S stand for? Standing wave in Y direction, standing wave in Z direction. So we have to add both the incident as well as the reflected signal. So if you add the incident and reflected signal, these are the 6 expressions we are going to get. Is it clear up to this? Is it clear, Amma? Up to this, is it clear? These expressions are very, very important. Standing wave expressions. Is it clear? Because what is cavity resonator? We are closing both the ends. The transmitted signal or the wave which is propagating in the forward direction, because since we are closing that end, the wave gets reflected back. The forwarded or the propagated signal in the forward direction and reflected signal in the backward direction forms the standing wave pattern. So what is the overall wave we should write? The standing wave pattern wave we should consider. So the incident plus reflected will give you standing wave. Any doubt in these 6 expressions, Amma? Understood? Are you able to follow?
Yes, ma'am.
Up to this, is it clear? There are 62 students are present. Are you able to follow?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes or no? So now, these, once we got standing wave patterns, so now it's very, very important. And the waveguide walls are perfect conductors, and the halo region is made up of lossless dielectric. The resonator under that particular condition, what happens means at a particular frequency, the resonators start resonating and the impressed signal is equal to the resonant signal. You are going to get maximum output. But here, these 2 points are very, very important. If you take the waveguide, the tangential component of electric fields and the normal component of magnetic fields suffer with 180 degrees phase shift. Remember this point. The most important point in this derivation is this point only. So the tangential component of electric field, because in a waveguide, so the tangent we have considered, whether you remembered or not, in TM and TE mode, when we are applying the boundary conditions there, I told you what is waveguide. Waveguide is a combination of conducting place, inside this dielectric is there. In EMTL, we have derived the boundary condition. So what is the boundary condition? So the tangential component of electric field is continuous, whereas the normal component of magnetic fields are continuous. That's what conductor and dielectric boundary. For that, we derived the boundary conditions there. We are using once again those boundary conditions. This point is very, very important. The tangential component of electric fields and the normal components of the magnetic field suffers with 180 degrees phase shift, whereas the normal component of electric fields and the tangential component of magnetic field suffers with no phase shift. So what do you mean by this means? If you observe this one, 62. So if you observe this one, what happens means, say, the tangential component means the components which are in Ex and Ey suffer with 180 degrees phase shift. 180 degrees means negative sign you have to keep. And the normal component of magnetic field, what is the normal component of magnetic field? In the Z direction you are going to get. It is also suffering with what? 180 degrees phase shift. Remaining components will not get any phase difference. Okay, so for that, what is this means? This is the waveguide. I'll show you. This is the waveguide. The tangential component of electric field in the x and y direction. The tangential components of the electric fields in x and y direction, what? Gives 180 degrees phase shift. So what are the tangential component? EIX and EIY. These phase 180 degrees phase shift means negative sign you are going to get. EROX and ERY. Like that you are going to get. What is the normal component to this? The wave is propagating in the z direction. So the magnetic normal component will give you 180 degrees phase shift. By taking those boundary conditions, what happens? What are the, already we wrote 6 expressions. These are the 6 expressions. Whether you are writing these expressions or not, I don't know. These are the 6 expressions. These are the basic expressions. Now, applying these conditions in this expression, so what happens? The first expression, if I take EIX is equal to, this is the expression we have, EIX4, incident wave, e power of minus j beta z, reflected wave, e power of plus zeta z. But here, EIX4, what is EIX1, ERX4? You are going to get what? Negative sign. So here, you should write not the positive. Here you should write it as negative. Here the sign is negative. So if you take the negative common, what is the expression becomes some e power of, I'll write that expression. What is the expression becomes, I'll try to write that expression so that you can understand the things. Up to this, is it clear, Amma? Any difficulty in understanding? I need the response. What is the
Clear, ma'am.
standing wave pattern? Standing wave pattern is incident wave plus a reflected wave. So according to the boundary conditions, what is the thing we got? EIXO is equal to minus ERXO. So what is the standing wave pattern? I can write is nothing but EIXO e power of minus j beta z minus, since it is EIXO and ERXO is minus, so EIXO into e power of j beta z. So if I take negative sign common, what is the EIXO common? What is the thing I can write? E power of j beta z minus e power of minus j beta z. So we have e power of j theta minus e power of minus j theta by 2j is equal to sine theta. Yes or no? So multiply with 2j here and 2j here. What is the expression you are going to get? Minus 2j EIXO sine beta z. I think it is not clear here. So I'll write the expression here. What is the expression you are going to get, Amma? Minus 2j EIXO sine beta z is equal to EXX. Clear? Okay. So by substituting these things, by substituting these conditions, you are going to get minus 2j EIXO sine beta z. What is beta? So there the condition is very, very important. When it acts as a resonator, when it acts as a energy storage element is, so when beta is equal to multiples of lambda by lambda g by 2. So what is the resonating conditions? I'll write the resonating condition here. What is the resonating condition? for anything, what is the resonating condition is? The resonating condition for a resonator is equal to when the length of the cavity, I'll write when the length of the cavity is multiples of lambda by lambda g by 2. What is the length we are taken? 1 minute. So it has I've represented, it has A, it has B, and it has D. What is D? I'll just go back and I'll show you. This is the waveguide we have taken. So what is D is nothing but this length along Z direction is nothing but D. This length along Z direction is nothing but D. So when this length is equal to multiples of lambda G by 2, then you are going to get resonance. When the D is nothing but multiples of lambda G by 2, you are going to get a resonance. And another condition, when beta is equal to P, when beta is equal to P pi by D, you are going to get resonance. These two are very, very important conditions. When you are going to get the resonance is when D length is equal to multiples of lambda G by 2 or beta is equal to P pi by D, you are going to get the resonance. Okay. So by using this condition, we'll try to derive the field expressions. As I mentioned earlier, field expressions already we derived. Simply we are going to substitute in those expressions. What are those things? I'll tell you. So just go back and see. So this is the expression we got. That's why wherever beta is there, we have to substitute P pi by D. And in this expression, remember, what is this term, Amma? It is not positive. It is what? Negative. You have to remember this. It is negative. Okay. I'll share this PDF in this one code now. So if I apply same thing, same as above expression, if I apply, these are the field components expressions I'm going to get. So Exx is equal to 2j EIXO sine beta z, EXY is equal to minus 2j EIO sine beta z, and EXZ is equal to 2I incident wave in Z0 in cos beta z. Like that, you are going to get 6 expressions. So I told the resonant conditions, it's multiples of lambda G by 2. The P may be starting from 0, 1. D should be, the length of the resonator should be multiples of lambda G by 2, where P is equal to 0, 1, 2, 3 like that. And beta should be P pi by D. You are going to get, or P pi by D, you are going to get what? Resonance. So we will derive what are the field component expressions in TM mode as well as in TE mode, we'll see. Okay, we have less than 1 minute time is there. I am closing the session. Please rejoin once again. Okay, we will see the things.